That we have set up, the Global Board of Trade, is at this moment offering two major products, two major market segments, I would call them. One is the commodity derivatives market segment, and the other is the currency derivatives market segment. World over, these are the two market segments which are come into limelight now. Everybody across the world want to ensure that they are protected in terms of the adverse movement of the currency prices, as well as the movement of the commodity prices. In case they have only one of these, say for example, commodity price, commodity derivatives exchange, where they can hedge themselves against the movement of the commodity prices, they are still exposed on the other leg, which is the currency, because they'll be dealing with different international currencies. And if you ensure that you're protected on one side with the commodity pricing, but whatever you've done could arrive at a negative figure if you don't protect yourself against the price variations or the movements in respect of the currencies in which you're dealing with. Therefore, Global Board of Trade is introducing both these market segments to everybody in the African continent and beyond the African continent.
So you're beginning with you're offering two. What's the target?
Well, the target, I myself don't know what's the target, because the kind of currencies, even within Africa, I'm sure there'll be at least about 30, 40 different currencies that are there in the African continent.
But you're beginning with 5.
I'm beginning with 5 currencies. For the first time in the history of the world, the Mauritian rupee to the US dollar futures market is being offered. That's the first. It's a new entry into the world's financial market. The next is the rand to the US dollar, which is settled in the US dollar. Settlement currency is the US dollar. And the next is the traditional currencies like the pound, the GBP to the dollar, the euro to the dollar, and the yen to the dollar. Because these are the things that are generally used by various business people across the length and breadth of this continent. And we are offering these products to them so that they can hedge themselves, protect themselves.
Yeah, in many respects what you're offering is pioneering work here, because this has not been done before, and you're going to come across many challenges. And I'd imagine one of them is going to be able to deal in African currencies that are in their own markets, highly regulated, where foreign exchange controls are still very much a feature of life. How easy will it be, do you think?
I agree with you that there are a lot of challenges in this field. So therefore, we are starting with those currency pairs or those currencies and in those countries where these regulations are not so stiff, or where we can introduce these currencies. Like for example, Mauritian rupee. It's absolutely clear. The central bank and the government, all of them want it. In fact, we are getting requests from Uganda, from Kenya, in fact, even from Nigeria, to see whether we can trade these. We are interested. The rand, again, it's traded in South Africa, but the settlement is in rand. But it's good for those within South Africa. But for businessmen and others outside South Africa, they would like that to be settled in the US dollar, and we're introducing that to them.
How easy has it been to tell African financial institutions to come and join your project?
There's a lot of skepticism initially. They want to see you functioning, they want to see the markets live, and they keep watching you. And for the last year and a half, we've been going to many markets. They're quite encouraging. They do have interest in seeing the markets go live, and they're watching us keenly. And nothing better than to show you that during the launch, and tomorrow when we are having the conference of what we've aptly titled as African Echoes, the Echo of Africa, there are more than 60 very tall economists and market participants who are visiting Mauritius and partaking in our conference, because they know that this is the next generation market and this is required. And a lot of policymakers are getting involved, and they know that there's no point in keeping the doors always closed.
Sure.
Because the world is one large village today.